Okay, hi everybody. This is today's lesson is how to identify colors for your shell. First of all, you have to have familiarity with the color wheel, which is hanging in front of the classroom, and I also have an example of it right here. There's a little glare on this color wheel, so sorry about that, but we talked about in class today color relationships and how to show light on something, in this case your shell. So the way you want to show light or reflecting on your shell is you want to create an area of warm color. How do we know what warm color is? Warm color is, I call them sun colors: yellow, orange, red. For shadows on our shell, we're not talking about tabletops yet. For shadows, we want to blend in with our shell color. Cool colors, lack of light. It's cold away from the sun. Purple, blue, or green. You can even do a combination. Okay? So, on my shell, how do I know what colors to use? You want to use the opposite. You always want to use, if you're creating a shadow on your shell, you want to use the complement. So I'm going to go over that quickly. And you guys, even folks that are here today, can refer to this video to know what colors to use for their shell. If your shell is white, well, the opposite of white is black. It's not on the color wheel, but we know that. The opposite of white is black. So if your shell is white, the shaded area of your shell is going to be black. But instead of creating a flat black to white shell on your beautiful colored composition, why not add a cool color of your choice? So mix black with any of the cool colors. For the case of this project, we are going to use, for our warm color, yellow. Yellow. If your shell is white, you want to use cream. If your shell is like a reddish color, like a terracotta color, or in those terracotta areas, use yellow, because it's harder, you'll get more of a pastel color if you blend in cream. It makes sense, right? Cream is like white and yellow mixed together. If your shell is already terracotta color, you need to enforce that yellow, that sun color a little bit more. Okay? In areas where you have multicolored shells, well, you're going to have multiple combinations. Like in the terracotta and white shell, in the white areas, you're going to use cream to show your highlights. In the terracotta areas, you're going to want to use yellow. Okay? For shading color, you want to use the complementary. How do I find the complementary color on my color wheel? Complement, think about this. Opposites attract. Okay? So, you know, you look awfully nice today, right? It's a nice thing to compliment people, okay? You might compliment somebody who's, you know, girls compliment the guys, guys compliment the girls. Opposites attract, you know, compliment each other. I don't know, whatever it takes for you to remember this. Complementary colors are across each other on the color wheel. Okay? So, for instance, if your shell is a reddish color, in your shaded area, you want to use green. If your shell is like an orangey color, like a light terracotta color, you want to blend in blue. There's a tricky thing that happens. If your shell is violet, like I know there's somebody that has like a reflective violet shell, you don't want to put the opposite in for your cast shadow. Why? Because it's a warm color. So you're going to want to use black. So there's someone that has like a pearly shell, a pearl kind of looking shell, and you might see some purple in there. Only use a complementary cool color for the shadow. Okay? Now, on this handout, it's going to take me a second to readjust it. Here we go. I gave this class this handout today. It has all the steps. Okay? And it tells you step by step what to do. So, if you're done with your bottle, as far as you'll get into one day is just take that color that you've already done in watercolor and create a highlight and a shadow on that. So step 1 is apply the lightest color you see to the complete shell, which we already did in watercolor. Step 2 is create a shade on the shell. So it says blend the cool complementary color of your watercolor, basically, that you picked for your shell with your first layer of color. So it gives all the instructions. So if you get stuck as you go through, just feel free to ask. And there's examples at the bottom. So it kind of shows you what I'm talking about. How to create depth and the illusion of a three-dimensional form on a flat page for a shell. Okay.